welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today for another fun-filled marathon society for this spring season. We've all picked our own pattern using springtime themed inspired fabric. Today I chose to use a fat quarter bundle that I got from Michael's with the spring flowers on it. So cute. And my pattern is the 3-in-1 sewing organizer by Craft with Bethany, and it actually worked out perfect because there are 5 pattern pieces, well 5 measurements, but and there are 5 fabrics in my bundle, so 1 for each piece. So that was kind of fun. This pattern is super, I'd say it's pretty beginner friendly. There are no pattern pieces because it's all just straight rectangles to cut out. This one was the first one I made, and I did a combination of fusible fleece, which is recommended in the pattern, and that I used for the bucket. I think everything else I used like a woven interfacing. And then this one is the one that I make in the video. And again, it is mostly fusible fleece, but I did use just a woven on the strap and the lining. The fusible fleece is in the exterior, the pocket, and the pillow. So we have our pocket to hold things. We have our bucket for the thread catcher, or I have my trash from my double stick tape in here. And then we have the pin cushion, and it just hangs here off your, like magic. It's super fun, quick pattern to sew. And then, like I said, there's 5 different pieces. It's perfect for like a fat quarter bundle. You can make it with or without the pocket. I think if I did it again, I would either leave the pocket out, or I would make the pocket similar to the strap where it's double-sided, because the pocket is like no lining in it. So that's what I would probably change. And this one, I did show this in the ending, but this is the original size. Everything's the same except the bucket. I just did a 1/2 inch shorter because of the ruler size that I was using. But this is the true size, and then but literally the height is the only difference. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and make sure you like the video. Check and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I was talking to somebody and she had been unsubscribed, so she had to resubscribe, and I've heard a few people that's happened to. So just double check that you are subscribed to my channel, and let's get sewing. Let's go over the pieces really quick. This is my lining piece. This is my exterior piece. She recommends that you use fusible fleece for your interfacing. I used a mix of fusible fleece and wool wax woven. I think it's like comparable to SF 101. This is my strap. There are no pattern pieces in the pattern, it's just measurements. This is my pillow. And this is my pocket. And if I remember, I will sew my little tag in. And here is the webbing. And we are gonna start with sewing the strap, which is this blue one. And we're gonna fold it right sides together this way. And she does give the measurements in the pattern, so you can make sure that it is folded correctly. I think I'm gonna put it in the pillow, maybe. Well, okay, so you just want it right sides together, and we're gonna stitch up this side and this side, and then turn it. The seam allowance is given in the pattern. And we're just gonna turn this right sides out. Poke out the corners really good. And then I'm going to go press it and then top stitch down these two sides. So I'm gonna top stitch the sides. Okay, so I have my strap here. And now we are going to take the pillow and we're going to fold it in half, just like we did the strap, to find the center. That extra piece of hair. So here's the pillow. And if you want to do a little snip, you can, to help keep track of that. Center. And then you're gonna line the strap up centered on the left side. So what I'm gonna do is just take that. And you don't have to do this, you can just estimate too. But so I marked my center on the left side. And then I'm going to just give a little tiny snip there. Maybe. Okay, so then we're gonna put the snap centered on the left side of the pillow here. And we do want to see how the strap's longer. We want to clip that out of the way because we do not want to stitch that in the pillow. And she uses pins. I don't have pins. I've been meaning to get some, but I just haven't. So I'm just clipping around the pillow. And we do need to leave an opening. For turning the pillow and for filling it. And on the first one I made, I did forget to leave an opening, so I had to go back and cut a new hole. All right, so we're gonna stitch, leaving an opening here. Okay, also what I wanted to mention is make sure that the open side of the strap is at the top of the pillow. So you're folding up the finished side of the strap, if that makes sense. gonna cut this down. Just gonna trim my corners a little bit so they're nice and sharp when I turn it. I don't want to cut this at all, so I have room to tuck it in. All right, we are going to turn this and then I'm going to press it. Be careful because you have to pull the strap out and any clips you have in here. Okay, I'm gonna use my little chopstick. Poke my corners out. I'm going to go press it. Okay, I like the finished look of a top stitched pocket. You do not have to do this, but I'm going to top stitch around but not closing in this hole because we'll fill this with rice or sand or whatever you choose to fill it with as it acts as the pin cushion. Okay, so we have the strap with the attached pillow with the opening here. Now we are going to move on, and we want the pocket gets saved for later. Oh, see, I forgot to put my little tag in the pocket because I wanted it on that side. Oh well, we'll stitch it in somewhere else if I remember. Okay, we are gonna move on. So we are going to take our strap and our pillow, and she gives a measurement for placement on where to put your strap. If you want to base this, you can. I don't think it's necessary. So you have your strap with your pillow attached to your lining in the specific spot listed in the pattern, and then you're going to take your exterior and lay that right sides together along the long edge. So your lining will be longer than your exterior. And she does have placement if you want to add like what's it called? Like an applique or embroidery design on it. It's in the pattern. I did not do that and will not be doing it on this one either. So I'm going to stitch along the long end where all the way across. Okay, so I've stitched across the top and now I'm gonna flip it and go press it. Okay, so now we are going to take our belt thing, our 1-inch belt, and she says to pin it in place. Like I said earlier, I do not have pins, so I'm going to use double stick tape. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it out of the seam allowance as much as possible. In the previous one, it was stitched all the way across and in the seam allowance, and I just feel like it's a little bulky in there. So I'm gonna try and keep it out of the seam allowance and see how that goes. So I do need to trim it down a little bit. And this needs to get attached to the lining part of it, not the exterior part. So I'm just gonna line it right below that seam, like so. So remember, the lining part is where it needs to be attached. Now we are going to take it and fold it right sides together like this. So we have our exterior here and our lining down here. Make sure you match up that seam. And we're going to clip it. Also, I think you could get away with interfacing it with all fusible fleece or all woven interfacing, just depending on what kind of body you wanted for it. And we do need to leave an opening in the bottom for turning. And I'm going to, I want my tag on the outside, so I'm gonna stick it here since I forgot. Put it in the pillow. I mean, I could still sew it in at the end with the pillow, but and this is when I wish I had the lighter color tags. Okay, so we are going to stitch all the way around from here to here, down here. We're going to leave an opening here for turning. And I forgot to leave my opening. That's okay, I'll leave it on the side. I knew that was going to happen if I didn't put extra clips, and I did not. But that's all right. I will leave it here. You need to make sure you mark a spot for opening. Okay, so now is where we're going to box our corners. So basically we're opening it like this. We're pulling it apart. We're gonna pull, and we want to do this with all of the corners. So just do one at a time. So it's laying flat like this, pull it apart like this. So your seam is kind of in the middle, and you're gonna pull this corner, and she gives you a measurement on how far up to sew. And I'm just gonna mark that and clip. If you have like a quilting ruler, I think it would help with the like your angle. And make sure you're gonna have your seam going the same direction all the way. Okay, so then we're going to repeat it on the lining corners. Make sure that the pillow's out of the way because it's down in there. You don't want to stitch that. Okay, we want this seam to go this way. Okay, so I have my 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is what I'm talking about, where you want to make sure the seam is going the same direction so it doesn't feel all wonky inside the bag. And we're going to stitch the corners, all 4 sides straight across where I drew those lines. Okay, so now we're going to trim those corners. That's why I backstitch on the corners, because I always am paranoid that the seam's gonna come undone. Okay, so this is where it's a little bit different because I use double stick tape, but if you pinned it, you would need to unpin it before you turn it. Like, or before you sew it. I think you keep it pinned and then you have to reach in and take the pins out. But like I said, I use double stick tape and we're just gonna go with that. I don't remember the order of when you would take the pins out. Poke all your corners out. And we're basically using that belt as like the stabilizer for the top. Okay, I'm gonna stitch up the hole because I'm done with that. But you would make sure if you pinned this belting in, you would make sure you want to remove the pins before you stitch the hole shut. Just clipping it, you want to stitch it as close to the edge as possible. This aside, and let me check my measurements. I'm actually going to draw them off camera because there are quite a few measurements that we need to do for the pocket. It's just we're folding in the raw side, so it's your pocket is actually open to your interfacing here. Okay, I have my lines drawn on here, and now I'm going to go press them where they need to be pressed. So my trick is, for instance, if I was folding it a 1/2 inch fold, which this is not a 1/2 inch, but if I was doing a 1/2 inch fold, I would draw my line at 1 inch and fold up to the line. So that's what I did with all of this, with the different measurements. And I will be back after I press all of the folds. So I have mixed feelings about, so I used fleece in the pocket this time. I did not use it last time. I like the SF101 better. Just because the fold is so small. So it kind of doesn't like to stay. Because you're folding it, like your interfacing is smaller than. We're gonna clip wrong, so we're folding it back in half. Let me come up here. So we have our folds. We're gonna fold it back in half so it's offset. Like this back will be taller than the front. And we're gonna clip it and we're gonna stitch and stitch. And this is a tiny seam allowance, so if you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can definitely do that, and it will just make your pocket a tiny bit smaller. I think if I do this again, I would definitely use regular interfacing instead of the fleece and make it a double-sided pocket. So kind of similar to the strap, and then fold it in. And I gotta get myself some pens. Okay. That took longer than necessary, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna stitch here and here, like I said before. I am gonna back stitch right there and right there at the top of the pocket. we got a little bit of that pocket in, but basically you're going to fold it with the measurements that are listed in the pattern, and you're going to fold it up like this, and then we are going to attach it. So this is what our pocket looks like. And we're just going to attach it across from or opposite sides. I'm not sure, her wording kind of confused me, and my other one is on the opposite side of where her pictures show. So I'm just going to clip that into place. You want to make sure your strap is up also, because you're going to want to catch that in the stitching. And your pocket is here. Your strap is here. On the other one, I stitched it here. So I don't know if it really matters. I think weight-wise, it might be helpful to keep it here. And then we're going to top stitch all the way around here. And that will help secure your belt in place as well. But you want to make sure you're going through the strap and the pocket all together. So here we have it, the completed project. Other than this pillow part, I need to go fill it with, I'm just going to fill it with rice, and then I'll stitch this shut here. And then it's all completed. Here, I'll show you. You can put your little snips in the pocket. This is a completed one with, whoops. With the rice in the pocket. Like I said before, I was a little confused, and I did the pocket on this opposite side. But basically, there you have it. Okay, I have filled my pillow with rice, and then I stitched up the side here. And there we have our completed 3-in-1 sewing organizer. Patterned by Craft with Bethany. Again, I'll have the link down below to purchase the pattern. Here's the little pocket. I have some snips and a pen in, and then you just set it like that right here. And then I have another one back here that I made. This actually is the true size. I did cut a 1/2 inch off because my ruler was pre-cut to 1/2 inch, so either way works, but I just used the ruler without having to adjust. This is the true size, so we're only a 1/2 inch difference here. And you could also make it without the pocket too. That would be just fine and dandy. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!